New York, Moscow, Seoul. A whole new group of cities just got hit. It's chaos. And the intel we've got is shaky at best. These are dark days, Commander.
Don't worry, son. We're here to light shit up. Skills!
Skills for kills!
That never gets old.
Listen up! Our target is New Providence. Now, she may look pretty, but this city is full of corporate gangsters, psychopaths, and butchers. We are diving head first into a viper's nest. But I promise you this, come tomorrow, we're all gonna be walking around wearing shiny snakeskin boots. These sons of bitches wanna black out the world? Not on our watch. We are the goddamn agents. And the agency needs justice.
By any means necessary!
Okay. Someone give me my jam! This is the agent's time to let death go crack! Stand tall, agent! Ain't nothing gonna take us down! We are the strongest, baddest ass kickers on earth! Quack, quack, motherfucker!
Commander, agents, do you hear me? Report in. That's an order.
You're still with me, Agent. The rest of your team. They didn't make it. The assholes that did this to you, we can make them hurt. Pay them back for what they did, but first I need to know. Can I trust you?
Xbox community, are you with me? Y'all thought y'all could hate destroy Crackdown 3? Nice try. Think again. Before I get into this session, let me start off by saying that Crackdown 3 is a very beautiful, animated, comic book style video game. It sticks to the core of its originality and is by far the best Crackdown version we have thus far. Not only is it the most beautiful, but it's the largest. And so being the largest gives a better dynamic and core essence to what brought Crackdown is fanship. Hey, Terry Crews doesn't make it that bad either, right? The game is based off of a lot of destruction. Finding orbs, becoming more agility, becoming a lot more stronger, being more proficient with your gun, being able to drive, and being able to cause havoc at a much greater scale than normal. Crackdown 3 was a pioneer in its essence to its original version of Crackdown. It went where Crackdown 1 couldn't go, And in doing so, it caused the industry to hate it. The industry hated Crackdown 3 because, as you can see, look at it. For one, Crackdown 3 just gives you what no other animated comic book style game has given you. We can look at Microsoft and we can accuse it of many things. We can say, well, where's all the destruction at in the campaign? Microsoft said it wasn't going to ever have total destruction in the campaign. So we can scratch that one off. Microsoft said it would have total destruction in its multiplayer game, in which it does, in which it's a beginning step towards the Azure cloud. It's not perfect by a long shot, but Microsoft has given us a glimpse to what multiplayer games in the future of the cloud compute can offer us. Wrecking Zone is a treat to Crackdown 3. The Crackdown series never had a multiplayer feature on it. So Wrecking Zone is a treat. It is an addition. And it is not why we have grown to love this series. The Crackdown campaign is the reason we've grown to love this series. And in doing so, the fanship, the support, and the gameplay mechanics of this game, along with the visuals, did not let us down. There is no way that the story of this game had any influence to the greatness of what this game brings. There is no major story to Crackdown. Why? Because there's never been one. It is not a game that implements story. The story of Crackdown is basically go get your weapons, cause a lot of chaos, and save the city. That's the story. You're going to have your little side missions. You're going to have your little information on your bad guys. And that's about it. It's a fun game. It's a game that makes you not have to think as much. It's a game where all you have to do is get in, start blowing up some stuff, upgrade. It's about leveling up your agent. It's about getting these orbs. Crackdown has always been about that. Hasn't been about no story. It's not a hold your hand game. It's not a game where, you stop, you listen to somebody for 15 minutes before you proceed. It's not that kind of a game. It is a comic book style, action, cartoonish, open world superhero game. You are a superhero agent with special powers that you gain and you grow as you collect orbs. You do not start out being so super. You got to build your guy up to the point where he becomes very strong and very super. That's Crackdown. That is the essence of Crackdown. That's always been Crackdown. And Crackdown 3 didn't fail in that category, as you can see. There is no way Crackdown 3 can be the worst version of Crackdown. There's no way. Reason being, Crackdown 1 was an 8.5. And the only reason I'm bringing up ratings is to expose the stupidity, right? The hatred. The hatred has caused people to just do stupid stuff. And the thing is, we're in a gaming culture now that's so toxic that, nobody wants to fact check anything. Nobody wants to use their common sense. You know, the lack of wanting to know gaming and obtain the knowledge of it is out of bounds now, man. I mean, you know, saying the most dumbest comment is what's popular now. You know, it's too easy to, you know, downplay Xbox. That's too easy. Because that's what's popular. To downplay Xbox is what's popular. You know, and if Xbox didn't deliver, it wouldn't be getting downplayed so much. This game delivers. Everything that's about Crackdown, this game delivers. And more. This game is 4K, 30 frames per second locked in. And you're telling me that this game is the least rateable game of the series? It's the weakest game. It's got the lowest scores, the lowest ratings. Come on, y'all. You know, it comes down to where you gotta make sense. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you just gotta make sense. You know, and when it's not making sense, that's where I'm gonna start coming in at. You know, Crackdown 1, like I said, got 8 out of 10s, 8.5s, you know, a great high score back in, I believe, in 2007. Everybody knows that Crackdown 2 is the worst version of the Crackdown series. That's just facts. Crackdown 2, it just didn't hold you the way Crackdown 1 held you, simply because, you know, the plot and the enemies of that game were basically mutants. You know, the armor was different. You look more like the UIR of Gears of War, you know. You went around, the feeling was different. You know, you had your bosses, you had your thugs and stuff out there in the streets. But at the same time, you had you were worrying more about these mutants. You know, and the gameplay mechanics and things just wasn't on par like the first Crackdown. Plus, it wasn't a true sequel. It was really like, you know, it was just, it kind of felt like it was just, hey, here we are. We needed this game out. You know, let's make an exclusive game so that, you know, the 360 could have a version of Crackdown. You know, and that's what it kind of felt like. It just didn't have the root feeling of Crackdown 1. So when they made Crackdown 3, you know, you don't have those mutants. You don't have none of that. And you have these big, once again, crime, organized, you know, gangs and kingpins, you know, trying to take over a city and locking down, you know, subdivisions within the city and plants and you know, businesses. And that kind of, you know, that stuck to the Crackdown roots. And so here you are, the agent, you know, you're here to, once again, you know, take them down. But, you know, like I said, the little side story to it is that now, you know, this ball of energy, you know, destroyed this guy's, you know, crew. And you're walking around, you also got to go find them, which is a new element in Crackdown. You never had that in Crackdown, where there wasn't even, you know, you couldn't even, the only time you could play, you know, or use the other soldiers, the other agents, as I'm sorry about that, was when you would co-op. You know, that's when you played the other agents. But at the same time, you didn't have a chance to know them, to study them, to understand what they were great at. And in this game, you do. As you find them, you realize they can be brought back, you know, by the technology, you know, and they're introducing to another, you know, a partner in crime, this lady that's helping out, you know, your agency, bringing back one of your top commanders. And so, you know, you have her and you have your agency working together, which is something new. You never had that in Crackdown. So now you got more orbs, you got a bigger city, you got more to run around to do, you got more bang with your buck. You can blow up stuff. You can pick up stuff. It's more vibrant. It's a lot more smoother. It's a hell of a lot more smoother than Crackdown 1. You know, the game is wide open. You know, it's got the same roots to Crackdown. You have no boundaries to how you want to play and beat the game. You can start off at the lowest point and try to beat it. You can start off at the highest point and try to beat it. You know, what amazes me is that I'm speaking from somebody who's really put time into this game, maxed out, and, you know, grabbed enough achievements. I never really was the type of person to gravitate to the driving. I'll always come back months, years later and just finish out the driving. But, you know, I'm a man of proof. I don't just sit here and talk. You know? I'm a man of proof. The only thing left, basically, are the driving. I think I got one thing to do with the shooting, and I believe that's this one, the second-hand sharpnail. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's not like I just played the game, you know, beat it, and then want to speak on it and, you know, and make it seem like, you know, my entertainment value in it was just low-key, no value in it. You know, it amazes me where we're at in the industry right now. It's a lot of people doing a lot more talking and less gaming, you know, because it's easy to do that. It's easy to get a platform, and it's easy to just voice some opinion that you know is the norm to do for it. And that's the thing that, you know, I find kind of disturbing now. You know, it's getting to the point where it's just getting real silly. It's, you know, I mean, these games come out, man. These devs doing their job to put out good content for these games to give us new experiences. This is the next gen game. This is the next gen version. It's by far the best version of Crackdown. It's nowhere near the worst version. But because it has to get that much hatred, simply because it's on no other console, and it looks this great, it has to get that much hatred, you know, that, you know, it gets people to talk crazy, man. You even got Digital Foundry out here. You got people that, you know, put time in. The thing that was creditable about them was that when they finally said what they said about the game, they had put in a week's time. Most of the other people was a couple days, 30 minutes, and people were doing reviews. We're at a point now in this game industry where we have reviewers reviewing games that they can't even play and beat. They're struggling, but they want to review a game. You know, they can't even play it right, but yet they want to review it. This is a crazy time in gaming, man. You know, it's time to change that. It's time to come out here, speak some truth, show some truth, get back to gaming, talk about our experiences, and get back to the core essence of gaming, and that's having fun. Crackdown also had to suffer the same fate as some of the greats, and I'm not comparing it as to a game like Gears of War, but it did get the same treatment. For being developed on a newer console, it didn't get a better overall review, which makes no sense. Gears of War got a high 90 score or mid 90 score when it came out in 2007. The remaster comes out for the Xbox One, looks 10 times better, plays 10 times much smoother, and it gets a lower score. And it gets criticized for being to the point where you push the A button too many times in the game. That's that stupidity. You see what I'm saying? That's coming from somebody you know right off the bat that doesn't play Gears of War. Shadow Colossus, when it came out, it got a great mid-90 score. And I'm here to say I don't think nobody doubts that game, right? It comes out on a newer console, and it gets a higher score as a remastered game. That makes sense, in the sense that it was remastered, looks better, possibly plays better. It can't be worse, right? You know, so the score reflects that reality. So why is it that, you know, this is a consistent thing with Xbox games? That's my only question. That's on my rap about it, you know? It makes no sense, you know? Everything about this gaming culture I'm for. Like I said, I'm down for a good console war, but the console wars are not about, it's never been about bashing anybody. The console war has always been about proving what another console can and cannot do. That's the console war. It has nothing to do with how many games being sold, how many consoles being sold. Those are the congratulation moments within a console, but that's not the console war. You know? People buy what they want to buy, and they play what they want to play, and they enjoy what they want to enjoy. You know, and that's that, you know, on that. But Crackdown 3 is by far the best version of Crackdown 3. It doesn't deserve the hatred that it got. And I'm glad that the Xbox community came out once again to prove that this game was fun and that you can enjoy it. It offers you a co-op, it offers you single player, it offers you multiplayer. What more can you ask? What more can you ask? This has been the New Legal, representing Di-RRec Gaming. And I'm out of here. Peace.